Modern women don't want men anymore. They want emotional support pets with bank accounts. For decades, society told men to shut up, soften up, and stop acting too masculine. They told us that confidence is aggression, leadership is control, and protection is oppression. So, men listened. They became sensitive, polite, careful, and quiet. And guess what? Women can't stand them. Every day, women post about how they can't find real men. But the truth is, they trained men not to be real in the first place. They raised them, dated them, and praised them, until those men became exactly what they said they wanted. And now, they feel nothing. No spark, no polarity, no attraction. Ask any man who's been told, "You're such a nice guy, but..." Ask any woman who lies awake wondering why her perfect boyfriend doesn't excite her. It's the same story, over and over again. We tried to fix dating by killing masculinity, and now everyone's miserable. This isn't about blaming women or defending men. It's about the quiet disaster we all helped create, the death of polarity, the confusion between genders, the loneliness we pretend is empowerment. Stay with me, because once you see how deep this goes, you'll understand why attraction is collapsing and how to rebuild it before it's too late. Here's what nobody wants to admit. Masculinity didn't just disappear. It was trained out of men, bit by bit, year after year. Society told boys to sit still, speak softly, share their feelings, and never make anyone uncomfortable. Schools punished their energy. Media mocked their strength. Even mothers, doing their best, said, "Don't be too rough." Every message said the same thing. Your nature is dangerous. So they buried it. Decades later, we have men who apologize for existing. Men who second-guess every word before they speak. Men raised to please, not to lead. And the irony? The more they try to please, the less anyone respects them. The more they open up, the faster attraction dies. Because you can't negotiate desire. You can't logic your way into chemistry. When you strip men of masculinity, you don't get peace. You get confusion. You get nice guys with broken confidence, pretending to be soft because they think it's what women want. But women don't want soft. They want safe with edge. They want a man who makes them feel something primal, not a roommate who overthinks every move. Yet for 50 years, society has told men that being strong, decisive, or dominant makes them toxic. And men believed it. Look around. Every part of culture reinforces it. Schools punish boys for competing. Workplaces worship safe language and emotional consensus. Dating apps reward passivity. A guy can't even flirt anymore without worrying it'll be called harassment. So what does he do? He shuts down. He avoids risk. He avoids leadership. He avoids women. He hides behind screens, hoping someone will finally see him as good enough. But being good enough doesn't attract anyone. Desire doesn't care about political correctness. It doesn't care about your feelings. Women still crave polarity, the spark between strength and softness, protection and surrender. But we told men to suppress the very traits that create that tension. So now women feel unfulfilled, and men feel unwanted. Everyone's blaming each other, but nobody's talking about how we built this system. The truth is simple. We raised generations of men in emotional safety nets designed by women. We told them to stop being competitive, stop being aggressive, stop taking up space. We medicated boys for being energetic. We scolded them for taking risks. We conditioned them to think leadership is oppressive and confidence is arrogance. Then we acted surprised when they grew up passive, anxious, and afraid of women. Meanwhile, women are living a contradiction they don't want to face. They say they want empathy, communication, sensitivity, but their biology still pulls them toward confidence, dominance, and power. They say they want equality, but they light up when a man takes control. That's not hypocrisy, that's human nature. But we've spent decades trying to rewrite nature, pretending attraction is a social construct. It's not. It's instinct. A woman can say she wants a man who listens and shares feelings. But deep down, what makes her body react is decisiveness, certainty, direction. It's not the guy who over-explains every emotion. It's the one who moves with purpose. It's the man who knows what he wants and doesn't need permission to want it. You can't fake that. You can't train it away. And this is why so many modern relationships feel empty. The roles are blurred, the energy is off, and nobody knows who's supposed to lead. Men are terrified of being labeled toxic, and women are exhausted from carrying both energies, masculine and feminine, all the time. They're tired of being strong by default. They're tired of planning, deciding, leading, while their partners hesitate. That's why the fantasy of the confident, unapologetic man still lives in every woman's mind. Not because she wants control taken from her, but because she wants to relax into her feminine side without fear. But here's the tragedy. The very system that promised equality killed attraction instead. We replaced polarity with sameness, and sameness doesn't create fire. You can't build passion between two neutral energies. You need charge. You need difference. You need the tension between masculine direction and feminine flow. That's what makes relationships magnetic. That's what makes desire last. And yet, men are punished for embodying it. They're told to be more emotional, more understanding, more cautious, basically less male. But the more they comply, the lonelier they become. Women respect them as friends, not lovers. Men retreat into video games, porn, and online echo chambers because, for once, they can feel strong without judgment. It's not healthy, but it's honest. At least there. Their instincts aren't labeled toxic. This is the quiet crisis no one's talking about. Men aren't broken. They're confused. Women aren't evil. They're conflicted. But if we don't start being brutally honest about what's happening, dating will keep collapsing. Relationships will keep failing. Because until men stop apologizing for being masculine and women stop pretending they don't need it, we'll keep living in this endless loop of frustration and denial. Let's trace where this all started. Masculinity didn't collapse overnight. It was slowly dismantled. It began in classrooms, where boyhood energy was labeled a disorder. A little boy couldn't sit still for 8 hours. Give him pills. He wanted to compete, wrestle, explore. That's aggression. He wanted to play war. That's violence. Every natural expression of boyhood was punished until he learned one rule: stay quiet, stay small, stay safe. And by the time he became a man, he'd already learned to fear his own instincts. He learned that strength makes people uncomfortable, that ambition makes people insecure, that attraction can ruin his life if someone misunderstands his intention. So he shuts down before he even starts. That's why so many young men today move through the world like they're walking on glass, trying not to offend, not to lead, not to take up too much space. Then there's the media. Every sitcom, every ad, every movie for the past 20 years has had the same message. Men are either idiots or villains. The husband is always a clueless goofball, The father is out of touch. The boyfriend is emotionally unavailable. And who saves the day? The woman. Smart, perfect, independent. Now, there's nothing wrong with showing strong women, but we stopped showing strong men. The balance disappeared. Masculinity became the punchline. Meanwhile, feminism, once about equality, mutated into something else entirely. It stopped saying, "We're equal," and started saying, "We don't need you." Men went from being partners to being the problem. The phrase toxic masculinity became a weapon, not a warning. Every assertive man, every confident man, every man who set boundaries was accused of being controlling or oppressive. So men stopped trying. They internalized the shame. They thought maybe the world would be better if I were softer, quieter, safer. Fast forward to dating culture. What does that look like in real life? It's chaos. Women say they want kind, sensitive men, but swipe right on the guy with edge and confidence. Men, terrified of rejection, hide behind endless texting and playing it safe. They overthink every emoji, every word, every pause. They think playing by the new rules will finally earn them love. But all it earns is frustration. Because desire doesn't follow social rules, it follows biology. That's why women end up saying things like, "He's perfect, but I'm just not feeling it." That's code for, "He's safe, but not masculine." And it's not her fault. It's chemistry. It's nature. We can't cancel millions of years of evolution with hashtags and TED Talks. Attraction isn't a choice. It's instinct. I once coached a woman, a corporate lawyer, successful, powerful, everything she thought she wanted. She dated soft, sensitive men for years because that's what her peers said a good man should be. But after every relationship ended, she told me the same thing. "I feel like I'm dating my coworker, not my man." What she really wanted wasn't someone to worship her. It was someone strong enough to make her feel feminine again. She didn't want control. She wanted polarity. She wanted to relax, but she couldn't find it. Because men who still carry masculine energy are either demonized or rare. The confident ones are called toxic. The decisive ones are called arrogant. The ones who take charge are told they're oppressive. And yet, those same men are the ones women dream about, the ones they fantasize over, the ones who still ignite that spark. That's the paradox of our time. Women demand emotional softness, but respond to emotional strength. Modern dating apps only make it worse. Men are taught to apologize before they even match. "I'm a feminist. I'll treat you like a queen. I'm not like other guys." Every bio reads like an apology letter. Meanwhile, women's profiles are full of demands. 6 feet tall, 6 figures, confident, funny, successful. The power dynamic is upside down. Women are screening for kings while telling men to stop acting like one. And when those men finally meet in person, nobody leads. Nobody decides. The conversation is polite, predictable, painfully safe. There's no spark, no tension. Just two people performing niceness until one gets bored. And then they both go back online, convinced it's the other gender's fault. The truth? It's not anyone's fault. It's cultural conditioning. We built a society that teaches men to apologize for being men and women, to chase power while craving polarity. That tension between ideology and biology is what's tearing everything apart. You can't replace nature with political slogans. You can't program attraction. Men didn't choose to be passive. They adapted. Because every time they expressed strength, someone called it dangerous. Every time they showed leadership, someone said it was toxic. Every time they expressed desire, someone said it was creepy. So now, they default to safety. No leadership, no confidence, no risk. It's survival, not weakness. But survival comes at a cost, because no woman is drawn to a man who plays it safe. So now we have two generations of lonely people, women craving masculine energy but afraid to admit it, and men suppressing masculine energy because they're punished for showing it. It's a system built on denial, and denial always collapses. Here's the part nobody wants to face. Everyone's miserable. Women feel unseen, men feel unwanted, and both are pointing fingers across a digital battlefield. The modern dating scene isn't romantic anymore. It's transactional, mechanical, and empty. Everyone's swiping, nobody's connecting. We've replaced chemistry with checklists and vulnerability with performance. Women keep saying there are no real men left, but those men didn't vanish. They adapted to survive in a world that punishes them for being masculine. And when they stopped showing up as men, women lost what made relationships magnetic. The polarity is gone. The tension is gone. The spark that once pulled masculine and feminine energy together has been buried under layers of fear, shame, and political correctness. And yet, when you talk to people privately, the truth spills out. The same woman who says she wants a sensitive, emotionally open partner also admits she's bored. The same man who prides himself on being kind and understanding secretly resents how invisible he feels. They both want something raw, something real, but they don't know how to get it without being judged. You see it everywhere. Women in therapy crying about how their perfect boyfriend doesn't excite them. Men online confessing that they've stopped trying altogether. They've watched friends lose everything over one misstep, one accusation, one misunderstood comment. So they choose safety instead of risk. But safety doesn't build desire. It kills it. Attraction has rules that no ideology can rewrite. You can't bully biology. You can't legislate chemistry. A woman doesn't get butterflies because a man is polite. She gets them because he's grounded, confident, unpredictable. She wants to feel him, not just hear him say nice words. And the more we try to sterilize dating, the more emotionless it becomes. Women don't actually want to lead in love. They lead everywhere else already. They lead in work, in school, in social circles. But when they go home, they crave space to soften, to breathe, to trust someone else's direction. That's not weakness. That's balance. The feminine isn't submission. It's surrender to safety, not control. But men stopped giving that safety when they stopped embodying strength. And that's why so many women are exhausted. They're strong all day and lonely all night. They crave a man who makes them feel like they can finally stop performing. But that man is hard to find because society taught him that leadership is toxic, that confidence is arrogance, and that attraction is dangerous. So he hides behind politeness. He plays it safe. And she feels nothing. This is the silent epidemic. Not a lack of love, but a lack of polarity. We have empathy without desire, equality without chemistry, partnership without passion. We've traded power for peace, and now we have neither. Men are told to be more emotional, but emotion without direction isn't strength. Women are told to be independent, but independence without polarity isn't fulfillment. We've confused sameness with equality, and sameness kills attraction. You can't have two North Poles in the same relationship. One has to lead, one has to receive. That's not oppression, that's nature. But most people can't say this out loud. They're afraid of being labeled sexist, outdated, or toxic. So they keep pretending. They keep forcing balance where polarity used to be. And then they wonder why relationships feel flat. It's not because men are bad or women are demanding. It's because the system taught both to fight their nature. A man can't be everything at once. Soft enough to never offend, strong enough to still lead, emotional enough to be safe, decisive enough to still be attractive. It's a losing formula. The modern man is trapped in contradiction. If he acts like a man, he's punished. If he doesn't, he's ignored. No wonder so many have checked out. Video games and online spaces became the last refuge of masculine energy. There, men can compete. They can win. They can lead without being shamed. It's not about pixels. It's about power. For a few hours, they get to feel capable again. But once they log off, the emptiness returns, because they still crave what every man has always craved: purpose, challenge, and connection. And women? They crave the same truth in reverse. They want to feel safe enough to be feminine again, to feel desired, not managed, to be pursued, not pitied. But you can't have that when men are scared to move and women are scared to trust. This is the emotional cost of the gender war. Nobody wins. We told men and women to become the same, and we erased what made them magnetically different. Now we live in a world full of people pretending they don't need what their biology screams for. But deep down, everyone knows something's wrong. You can see it in the eyes of the man who's too polite to flirt, and the woman who secretly misses being led. You can feel it in the silence between couples who stopped touching. You can hear it in every "we just grew apart." We didn't grow apart. We got confused. And until we face that truth, we'll keep mistaking comfort for connection and equality for love. Here's where things start to change. Because underneath all the frustration, something real is waking up. You can feel it. Men are starting to realize they've been lied to. They were told that if they were gentle, open, and agreeable, they'd be loved. They were told women wanted equality, not polarity. They were told strength was dangerous. And after years of obeying those rules, what did they get? Loneliness, confusion, rejection. But here's the shift. They're finally questioning the script. They're starting to see that maybe the problem isn't masculinity itself, but the way it's been demonized. Men are realizing that being strong, ambitious, protective, competitive, those aren't flaws. They're features. They're the same traits that built civilization, protected families, and inspired loyalty. And no matter how much the world tries to suppress that, it's coming back. You can already see it. A new kind of man is emerging, one who's done apologizing. He doesn't hate women. He doesn't blame feminism. He just refuses to live weak. He knows that niceness without strength isn't virtue. It's fear dressed as morality. And he's done being afraid. These men are rebuilding their confidence piece by piece. They're hitting the gym not for vanity, but for power. They're building businesses, setting boundaries, walking with purpose. They've stopped seeking approval and started seeking direction. And you know what's crazy? The moment they do, women respond differently. Because deep down, women never stopped wanting masculine energy. They just stopped trusting men to carry it responsibly. That's the next layer of truth. Women aren't the enemy. They're confused too. They were promised empowerment, but given exhaustion. They were told independence would make them fulfilled, yet they're more anxious and lonely than ever. They were told they could have it all, but all turned out to mean doing everything alone. So while men were told to be softer, women were told to be harder. The result? Two genders playing roles that don't fit them, wondering why they're miserable. The future isn't about going back to the 1950s. It's about returning to balance. Masculine and feminine were never meant to compete. They were meant to complement. But that balance can only return when both sides get brutally honest. Men need to stop pretending weakness is virtue. Women need to stop pretending strength alone brings happiness. Both need to admit that biology still rules attraction, no matter what culture says. The truth is, women are still drawn to confidence, decisiveness, leadership. All the things labeled toxic by people who don't understand attraction. That's not conditioning. That's nature. It's hardwired. And men are still drawn to femininity, softness, nurturing energy. Not weakness, but grace. It's not old-fashioned. It's human. You can see this even in modern relationships that thrive. There's always polarity. Even in same-sex couples, one energy leads and the other receives. It's not about gender. It's about balance. Every healthy relationship needs direction and surrender, structure and flow. The couples who try to split everything evenly, every decision, every responsibility, every role, always end up drained. Because equality in love isn't sameness, it's synergy. And when a man reclaims his masculine center, not as dominance, but as grounded leadership, everything changes. He stops chasing. He stops over-explaining. He stops waiting for permission to live with purpose. And women feel that shift. They relax around him. They stop testing him. They trust him. Because finally, there's polarity again. That invisible current that makes attraction feel effortless. The truth is, the most attractive men aren't the richest, tallest, or loudest. They're the ones who lead without fear. The ones who know who they are and refuse to dilute it. The ones who can be kind without being weak, calm without being passive, strong without being cruel. That's real masculinity. That's what's been missing. And when men step back into that space, the entire dynamic changes. Relationships get better. Sex gets better. Communication gets real again. Because suddenly, men aren't afraid to lead, and women aren't forced to. Everyone can breathe. Everyone can be who they're wired to be. That's why this awakening isn't toxic. It's necessary. It's the pendulum swinging back toward truth. We tried to erase masculinity. Now we're realizing we can't live without it. The answer isn't domination or submission. It's alignment. When a man leads with strength and a woman responds with trust, they both win. Because nature stops fighting itself. And that's the real revolution. Not men against women, but men and women remembering how to dance again. Here's the truth. We don't need weaker men or tougher women. We need alignment. We need honesty. Because pretending we're the same hasn't made us equal. It's made us lost. Men aren't thriving. Women aren't fulfilled. Families are falling apart. The dating market is chaos. Everyone's chasing happiness, but nobody's grounded in truth. The solution isn't complicated. It's courage. The courage for men to reclaim strength without shame, and the courage for women to trust that strength again. For decades, we told men to suppress their nature and told women to carry both energies. And now, everyone's tired. Men are burned out from hiding who they are. Women are burned out from having to lead everything alone. It's time to end that. Men, stop apologizing for being men. Stop asking permission to be confident. You don't need validation to take charge of your life. You were built to build, to protect, to compete, to lead. Not to dominate others, but to direct yourself. True masculinity isn't about control, it's about clarity. It's knowing what you stand for, what you'll fight for, and what you refuse to compromise on. When you stand in that energy, the world changes. People respond differently. Opportunities appear. Women respect you, not because you're loud, but because you're solid. Because your presence says, "I've got it handled." That's what creates attraction. That's what builds trust. That's what brings peace. But this isn't just about men. Women have their part too. Because the truth is, strength isn't the opposite of femininity. It's what protects it. Women don't need to compete with masculine energy. They need to reconnect with their own power. The power to inspire, to nurture, to influence without force. The power that's been mocked, minimized, and labeled weak when it's anything but. Feminine energy isn't submission. It's the art of trust. It's surrender with intention. It's knowing you could lead, but choosing not to because you feel safe. And that's the one thing modern women rarely feel, safe enough to soften. When a man stands firm, she can finally relax. When she trusts his direction, she can finally stop performing. That's not regression, that's restoration. This is what polarity really is. Not dominance and obedience, but flow and structure. The masculine builds the frame, the feminine fills it with life. One gives direction, the other gives depth. And when they work together, everything aligns. Passion, purpose, peace. But we've spent years trying to flatten those differences, trying to make everything equal by making it identical. And it's killing us. Equality isn't sameness. Equality is value. Masculinity and femininity are equal in worth, but different in purpose. That's what we forgot. That's why everything feels off balance. If you strip men of masculinity, you destroy the drive that built civilization. If you strip women of femininity, you drain the softness that keeps humanity alive. We need both. Always have. Always will. So what now? We stop pretending. We stop lying about what works. Men, stop seeking approval and start seeking purpose. Stop playing safe and start playing to win. Lift something heavy. Build something real. Compete. Fail. Learn. Grow. You're not toxic for wanting power. You're toxic when you misuse it. Channel it. Refine it. Earn it. Women, stop fighting the current. You don't need to prove your strength by carrying it all alone. Let men show up. Expect their leadership, but reward it with trust, not control. Because the man you want can't exist in a world that punishes him for being one. We've been at war with human nature for too long. It's time to work with it again. Because when men lead with integrity and women trust with strength, everything flows. Families rebuild. Desire returns. Society stabilizes. We stop living in competition and start living in balance. That's the new revolution. Not feminism or patriarchy, but polarity. Not dominance, but direction. Not equality through sameness, but equality through synergy. So men, stop waiting for permission. Step into your purpose. Women, stop fighting the current. Step into your power. And together, rebuild what this generation forgot. That masculinity and femininity were never enemies. They were always the spark that made life worth living. Because when men act like men and women feel safe being women, everything and everyone finally starts to make sense again.